If you want to know all the pros and cons about living in San Antonio, be sure and watch this video to the very end. I'm going to share with you how it's been for me living here 10 years, coming from a small little country town, and we're getting after it right now. What's up, YouTube family? It's Jaime with the Aguillon International Group here at Keller Williams in San Antonio. And if this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything there is to know about living in San Antonio, what's it like for me and my family, the pros, the cons, working here, playing here, be sure and subscribe to our channel. Remember, tap the bell so you're notified every time I drop a new video. And if you're seriously thinking about moving to the San Antonio area or just relocating to Texas in general, give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, whatever is going to be easiest for you. I have your back, and the only way I can do that is if you call me or text me. Even if you're thinking about coming here to build a house brand new, any facet of real estate, we've got your back when you're moving here. So let's get right after it. Pros and cons to living in San Antonio. Well, I've been here for 10 years now. I'm from Hereford, Texas, a small little country town. One of the biggest pros I noticed coming here, I really didn't think about till this most recent, 2 weeks ago when I took a trip back to Hereford. It was super windy on my drive passing Lubbock, Texas, Hereford, Texas, Snyder and Slater, Texas, all those areas. It was really windy, so it was like a dust storm. I couldn't even see in front of our car. It was me, my wife, my sister, my mom, and Rachel, our director of operations. As we were driving, I couldn't see 10 feet in front of me because it was so windy and it was so dusty. It was crazy. That's the Panhandle. I want to show you what that looks like. The trip from San Antonio to Hereford, Texas. So let's see this. You can see my screen. Awesome, here it is. I'm going to show you where I was driving. You see that? Hereford, Texas, beef capital of the world. Check this out. Okay, you can see my face now. So that's Hereford, Texas. It's about an 8-hour drive, 7.5 if you don't stop too much. But as you're coming down I-10, you're going to go right through Menard, Ballinger, Winter, Sweetwater, Post. So from from Lubbock down this direction, it was so dusty we couldn't see in front of us. So a pro for San Antonio for me, there's no dust storms in the city or out on 1604 for the most part. I've never been in traffic and I couldn't see 10 feet in front of me. There has been a few times where it's foggy, but not very often. That's not enough for me to be like, yeah, that's a big pro here. It's not like Seattle, Washington or anything like that. But yeah, so it's not super windy or dusty compared to going back home. So that means that there's no tumbleweeds. It's a little more dry back in that Panhandle area. So you won't see that in San Antonio. So that's a pro for me. I think a con in San Antonio, living here for 10 years, it's going to be traffic. And when I say traffic, I mean traffic hour, because it's not like the entire day it's filled with traffic. In fact, let me show you where the traffic has been, where I've experienced the most traffic living here. So if we come back to San Antonio, okay, you see where I'm at now? The dot is my headquarters. That's where I'm at. But if you open the map like this, let's see. You might be able to see where it says Chavano Park, and I'm zooming in. That's 1604. 1604 is going through construction. They're making more lanes to be able to support all the people who live in, who are going to be driving up and down that 1604 corridor. So between like 7 a.m. and 8:30 a.m., it can be really trafficy right there. It could take me like 40 minutes to get from the medical center right over here, where it says Wurzbach Road. From Wurzbach Road up to where I'm at right now. Watch, let me just show you this. Medical Center. Let's just click that, for example. Oh no, not that. I'll just drop a pin right here. Directions, 27 minutes. So that's a 30-minute drive, 32-minute drive right now with traffic. But going that direction is not as bad as coming this direction. So it's 4 p.m. on a Friday. Traffic is usually lighter on Fridays from what I've experienced on this 1604 corridor. So 30 minutes without traffic, it's probably 20 minutes. So it could add 10 minutes to your drive. Now, the big problem can be if there's an accident or something, then you might be there for an hour. But that 1604 corridor is undergoing construction, and it's probably going to be like that for the next 5 years. The other area, well, really that whole sector, you see this? there's construction all right there. So that gets pretty packed up. Now, if you that's what's known as the northwest side of San Antonio. If you come in a little bit to 410, this Castle Hills area, there isn't construction on the highways at the moment, but it looks like there's construction going down right over here. Watch, let me show you this. If you keep coming down 410, right here, they're adding a loop right here, like 151 and 410. Let me see if I can show you this. It's Highway 16. Okay, right here, 151 and 410, where this intersects. They just built like a new interchange, and they still got some construction going on there. So during those hours, it could be kind of trafficy, 7 to about 8:30 in the morning, and then the evenings, like 4 to 6:30, I've noticed traffic, and sometimes even all the way up until 7 p.m. But outside of those hours, the traffic really isn't that bad. So if you're concerned with traffic, you're going to be good. I promise you that. So the second pro for me is the people. San Antonio's got a lot of really cool people. They're pretty friendly. It's rare that you run into someone who's just super rude, and if they are, they're probably not native to San Antonio. They might have relocated from some other state where people are just rude, and it's okay. So I gotta say, a big pro for me, pro number 2, is gonna be the people. The second con that I'll share with you for San Antonio for us, well, I say for us, right now my wife is pregnant, so when it's super hot, it's not the best, it's not conducive for pregnancy. And the heat can get really intenser. So we're going into the summer months. As I'm recording this video, it's like 85 degrees outside, but it looks like we're going to see 99 this weekend, maybe even break 100 degrees. It's not uncommon to have multiple days over 100 degrees in San Antonio. I'm wearing a suit, and I wear a suit pretty often, even during the summer. It's not bad for me. I do spend a lot of time at the hot sauna and the steam room at Lifetime Fitness. I don't know if that helps, but for me, I think that's probably why I don't sweat so easily, because my body's acclimated to being in 150 plus degree for days in a row, 10 to 20 minutes at a time. So for me, it's okay. But if you're coming somewhere and you're not used to the heat, it might take some getting used to for the heat. So I'm gonna label that a con if you're not used to the heat. The third pro I'm gonna say about San Antonio is it's great for mom and pop businesses. There are a lot of local small businesses in San Antonio, and for the most part, like if you hop on a feed on Facebook and someone's looking for a restaurant or apples or any kind of commodity, it's not uncommon to read people say, hey, I'm looking for a couch, but I want to shop somewhere that's local to support a local business. That's very common in San Antonio, and I love that about the city. There's a lot of mom and pop businesses who support each other. Like during the pandemic, there was a lot of camaraderie amongst the small business community in San Antonio, where people were helping other businesses and, hopping on social media and saying, hey, I'm over here at this coffee shop. It's owned by Mary and Sue. Come check it out. Support local business. I like that about working here. And we've even had some people hire us because they want to work with the local real estate agent versus a company who's not from here. So that's a pro for us too. And I think that was like pro number 3. And I've actually got another pro before we jump into the con. The housing, it's still pretty affordable in San Antonio. Interest rates are up across the nation, right? They're floating in the 6s in some cases, maybe the high 6s in some cases, maybe the high 5s. It just depends on who you go talk to. The housing prices have gone up in San Antonio too, but compared to like an Austin market, they're still somewhat more affordable. And there was a study done that I caught wind of by someone who owns pods, or maybe they like track like where pods are going, the big shipping containers. For the first time, I think they had said San Antonio was like on the top 15 list for people getting pods, and that more people were getting pods in San Antonio than Austin. It may not mean anything, but I look at that and say that could potentially mean more people are choosing to move to San Antonio over Austin, Houston, Dallas, McAllen, some of these big metro cities in Texas. Now, McAllen's not really that big of a metro, but now that SpaceX is there, I've got family who lives in McAllen, and I see it growing. Like, it's wild to see how much it's growing, and their prices, I think, are still even more affordable than San Antonio. But it's kind of a give-take thing. Like, do you want to be in a big city like San Antonio where there's a lot of opportunity, or are you looking for something that's still emerging and growing like McAllen, where there's still opportunity, it's just not as big as San Antonio? That's going to be another pro for us. Gosh, when I think about cons, I love the city so much. It's hard for me to come up with a con and like say it with integrity and authenticity that's a big con for me, because I don't see a lot of cons living in San Antonio. I've got friends who tell me, oh, the nightlife isn't like California or Miami. And I've been to Miami. This is nothing like Miami. Over there, like, the city doesn't sleep. I've been in New York. It doesn't sleep there either. And I like that when I want to go play. But like to raise a family, to have a small business, to spend time with my pops, my parents, my wife, her family, our kids. San Antonio is like one of the best places. I love living here and I like playing other places. And the cool thing is you can still play in San Antonio too. So I think another pro is there is a lot of things to do. I made another video a couple months back about my pros and cons. So if you want to check that out, go for it. You might see some differences. I think I talked about like allergies. Every now and then I get allergies, but it's not a real big deal for me. Now it could be a big deal for you if you're allergic to cedar, because we do have a lot of cedar and sometimes pollen can be really high here too. But another pro is San Antonio's got a lot of fun stuff to do. I'm going to share this with you. Andretti's is a really cool indoor kart racing. It's right there. So you can see those pictures of what it's like. Go-karts. They've got bowling, good food, drinks, anything that you want. This place is pretty cool. And then in that section of San Antonio, you've got Topgolf, which is another cool place to go. I don't know if you've ever been there. It's a 3-level like driving range style. Chicken and waffles are bomb. It's a lot of fun there. Depending on how long you're going to stay, I would say it's safe to say you're going to spend 50 to 100 bucks for 2 to 4 people, maybe more if you drink lots of alcoholic beverages. That'll raise your price. And then you've got shopping right here at the rim. Like if we just come up just a little bit, you got Bob's Steakhouse, Best Buy, Target, Santikos. Santikos is one of my favorite movie theaters in town. You see that? It's a nice cinema. Santikos is native to San Antonio, so I really like that. They do a lot. They give a lot back to the community. So I'll normally go to Santikos. If I don't, I'll go to like the Alamo Draft House here and there. But before then, I'd probably go to. There's this new place that's based out of Austin, but they just opened up a location in San Antonio. Gosh, what's it called? You know what? Let me just pull it up on the map for you. So if you're at the rim, you're going to go down 1604 to Highway. In the direction of Highway 90, but before you get to 90, exit Marbach, Flix Brew House. There it is, right there, bang. So Flix Brew House, it's a cool brewery where you've got, they brew their own beer there. It's really cool. I got another video actually, I think, where I did like a vlog style video. So if you're interested in that, check out the video. It's pretty cool. If you got specific questions to like pros and cons in like a hyper local area, like most of the cons I gave you are going to be like that northwest corridor. And I would say the east, northeast, and north and southeast corridor share similar issues with construction. And I say it's an issue, but at the end of the day, it's going to be a pro for everybody. The more lanes they have, the more traffic can flow. Obviously, there's still wrecks and stuff that can happen. But like all around San Antonio, because it's basically it's just like a big loop. It's like a big donut. You see that? It's growing in every direction. So just keep that in mind when you're coming out to San Antonio. Reach out to me. I can only help you if you call me or text me, shoot me an email, and I will get back to you. We work days, nights, and weekends. I have your back when you're moving to San Antonio. Meet the team. You're going to love it. We're going to love you. We're going to have a good time helping you buy and sell real estate here in town.